Hello, everyone. On today's episode of VCU's Got Issues, I'm discussing the purpose of RAMS in Recovery, a substance abuse support center that aims to help any student who is struggling with addiction to have a better community surrounding them, and an opportunity to grow into the individuals they want to be separate from their substance. I spoke with Associate Director Tom Bannard about the major problems students face with substance abuse. I wanted to know if there was any particular trend he had been noticing in the past couple of years.
My guess would be that if you looked at kind of use patterns like across the board, VCU would pretty closely mirror what's in national trends. We've seen that cannabis use has gone up steadily, and especially multiple time daily use of cannabis. I think there's actually pretty substantial research that says cannabis is a gateway drug to mediocrity for many people, in that like folks that use cannabis over a long period of time have less earning potential, they don't progress as quickly in their careers, they drop out of school or stop out of school. So there's a lot of kind of consequences, especially to multiple time daily use of cannabis. And I certainly don't think like we should be judging people, or it's a very common thing on our campus.
I decided to speak with peer recovery specialist Mercedes Gearing about why students resort to substance abuse. I asked her if there was any specific reasons why students felt drawn to taking drugs and alcohol.
This is a little bit of a difficult question to answer because everyone and their substance use and everyone in their recovery journey, everyone looks so different. Definitely the biggest indicator of the possibility of having a future substance use disorder is what we call ACEs, which is an adverse childhood experience. So most, if not all, of the individuals we are serving with substance use issues here at RAMS in Recovery they have experienced adverse childhood experiences, and that can be anything from emotional neglect to physical abuse, sexual abuse. Any sort of traumatic event really is an adverse childhood experience. So anything that would make a child's life harder or make them have to grow up faster or experience things that we really shouldn't be experiencing until adulthood. And so I myself have quite a few adverse childhood experiences, and that is definitely what launched me into substance use as a coping mechanism for so long. My use of drugs was not very long.
I asked Mercedes to tell me a little bit more about her personal experience with substance abuse.
I started using alcohol and other drugs to cope with some underlying mental health issues and some other traumatic experiences I was having when I was 14, and it just quieted my mind, and I didn't really have any other coping skills, and I found it just really difficult to get by without the use of alcohol and other drugs. I just was using pretty regularly for a few years, and then my use just skyrocketed when I got to college in the fall of 2020. I ended up having to come home in November 2020 for some medical complications that I was having. And yeah, my parents got to see the full scope of my use and misuse of substances, and they gave me an ultimatum that I'm guessing had a secret third option, which was get out of our house. But they told me I could go to an inpatient treatment center or an intensive outpatient program. And I was honest with them for the first time in I don't know how long. And I told them that if I came home from the intensive outpatient program, I was gonna just end up using drugs. And so I went to inpatient treatment, and definitely didn't want to go at first. I went in on May 21st, 2021, and that was my last hurrah with alcohol and other drugs. And so I count my recovery date or my sobriety date as May 22nd, 2021.
I decided to ask Tom what specifically RAMS in Recovery did to help students.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. So we have 4 tiers of support for students who are in recovery or are seeking to make a change in their substance use. Our recovery clubhouse, which is over here on West Marshall Street, we're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the week, and then have limited weekend hours. We have a recovery meeting, at least one recovery meeting a day here. And those are open recovery meetings. They're open to the community. They're open to students. Students can just walk in and go to a recovery meeting and kind of experience that, whether that's Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Recovery Dharma, Smart Recovery, with a bunch of different pathways, Cocaine Anonymous, Marijuana Anonymous. a bunch of different options for folks. And so that's the most low kind of barrier way to engage. The next level up is recovery coaching. So students, if somebody's a student at VCU, they can come in, they can get one-on-one recovery coaching from one of our peer recovery specialists. They're able to use our space here. They can participate in, we do trips and retreats and activities like we're going to King's Dominion this weekend. And so just folks can engage in community in different ways. And then we have our Recovery Scholars Program, which we have about 100 students in our Recovery Scholars Program. And that involves a weekly not-for-credit seminar that when at the end of each semester, if students meet the attendance requirements, they get a small scholarship. So they usually get a $500 scholarship. And students will often participate in that all the way through their time at VCU. To be in that program, students have to identify as in recovery from a substance use disorder.
As a student, it is easy to criticize VCU on a plethora of issues. However, after speaking with the staff at Rams in Recovery, I found a real appreciation for what VCU does to support the program and the students involved. Offering a place to get one-on-one help, financial support, an environment for studying, and a tight-knit community all really help promote a positive influence on students' lives.